Did you know that you forget 80% of what you learn in just a few days? Don't worry, the facts we're about to share are so mind-blowing, you won't be able to forget them. Welcome to Fact Sphere. Today, we're diving deep into 101 unbelievable facts about our world, science, humans, history, and beyond. So sit back, relax, and get ready. Because by the end of this video, your perspective on everything is about to change. Let's start with some incredible world facts. Picture this: the shortest war in history lasted only 38 minutes. It was between Britain and Zanzibar back in 1896. Now, look up at the night sky. There are more stars in the universe than there are grains of sand on every single beach on Earth. Speaking of things that last forever, honey never spoils. Archaeologists discovered 3,000-year-old honey in Egyptian tombs, and guess what? It was still perfectly edible. Ever seen the Eiffel Tower? During the summer, it can actually grow up to 15 centimeters taller due to thermal expansion. And when you think of a desert, you probably picture sand, right? Well, the largest desert on Earth is actually Antarctica. Let's head to space for a moment. A single day on Venus is longer than its entire year. Back on Earth, your body holds enough DNA to stretch from the Sun to Pluto and back 17 times. And that famous myth about seeing the Great Wall of China from space with the naked eye? Totally false. Meanwhile, Mount Everest is still growing, adding about 4 millimeters in height every year. Finally, deep under the ocean between Greenland and Iceland, there's a massive waterfall over 3,500 meters deep. Now, for some science and tech, that sounds like science fiction. Did you know octopuses have 3 hearts and blue blood? And the smartphone in your pocket? It has more computing power than all of NASA's computers during the Apollo moon landing missions combined. Your own brain is a powerhouse, generating enough electricity to power a small light bulb. Think about this for a second. A single teaspoon of material from a neutron star would weigh about 6 billion tons. And here's a timeline twist. Sharks have been around longer than trees. Under specific pressure conditions, water can actually boil and freeze at the same time in a state called the triple point. The very first computer virus, created in 1986, was named Brain. Ever been caught in a thunderstorm? A bolt of lightning is 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun. And what about immortality? A species of jellyfish, the Turritopsis dohrnii, can essentially live forever by reverting to its juvenile state. Ever wondered what space smells like? According to astronauts, it's a mix of burnt metal and seared steak. Let's get personal with some fascinating facts about the human body and mind. To prevent digesting itself, your stomach lining completely renews every 3 to 4 days. And you have more in common with your lunch than you think. Humans share 60% of their DNA with bananas. Your brain is often more active when you're asleep and dreaming than when you're awake. Ever tried to tickle yourself? You can't, because your brain anticipates the sensation and cancels it out. Take a look at your hands. Your fingernails grow faster on your dominant hand. Need a health boost? Just have a good laugh. Laughter is proven to boost your immune system. Over a lifetime, the average person walks the equivalent of circling the globe 5 times. Just like your fingerprint, your tongue print is completely unique. Your sense of smell is incredible too. The human nose can detect over 1 trillion different scents. And if you ever feel the need to cry, go for it. Crying actually helps release toxins and relieves emotional stress. Ready for a trip back in time? Cleopatra. S. Life was actually closer to the first moon landing than to the construction of the Great Pyramid of Giza. Imagine waking up to this. The very first alarm clock could only ring at 4 a.m. Ever wonder about Viking grooming habits? They used combs made from animal bones, and we have ancient Egyptians to thank for inventing toothpaste. The world's first university was established in Morocco in 859 AD, and it was founded by a woman named Fatima al-Fihri. Here's a strange cleaning tip from the past. In ancient Rome, urine was a common cleaning agent because of its ammonia content. The oldest piece of chewing gum ever found is over 9,000 years old. Think Napoleon was short? He was actually of average height for his time. The short myth came from propaganda. Before erasers were invented, people used balled-up pieces of bread to get rid of pencil marks. And that bottle of ketchup in your fridge? In the 1800s, it was sold as a medicine to treat indigestion. Finally, let's explore the wild and wonderful world of animals and nature. Sloths can hold their breath underwater longer than dolphins can. Cows are social creatures that form close bonds and have best friends, getting stressed when they're separated. To avoid drifting apart while they sleep, sea otters adorably hold hands. Butterflies don't have tongues. They taste things with their feet. A group of flamingos isn't just a flock, it's called a flamboyance. Elephants are one of the few animals that can recognize their own reflection in a mirror. Some species of frogs can freeze completely solid during winter and then thaw out and hop away in the spring, completely unharmed. When penguins find a mate, they propose by presenting them with a special pebble. If you think you take long naps, a snail can sleep for up to 3 years straight. Did you know there's a planet made entirely of diamonds? Or that the inventor of the Pringles can is buried in one? Imagine a world twice the size of Earth, shimmering with a surface made of pure, sparkling diamond. That's 55 Cancri for you, a real-life treasure planet. But here's a twist. Space itself is completely silent. No air, no sound. It's an eerie, cosmic quiet. And while we're out there, a day on Jupiter flies by in just 10 hours. That's less time than a typical workday. Speaking of time, those iconic footprints left on the moon by the Apollo astronauts? They'll be there for millions of years, perfectly preserved, because there's no wind or water to erase them. Now, let's talk about our own solar system's giants. Saturn, with its beautiful rings, is so light for its size that if you could find a bathtub big enough, it would actually float. It's less dense than water. And our Sun, it's the undisputed king, making up a staggering 99.86% of all the mass in our solar system. Everything else, planets, asteroids, you, me, is just cosmic dust in comparison. Here is a crazy space phenomenon. If you take two pieces of the same type of metal and touch them together in the vacuum of space, they will permanently bond. This is called cold welding. It happens because the atoms don't know they are separate pieces without the thin layer of oxidized air we have on Earth. And for a truly explosive fact, picture a neutron star. Its gravity is so intense that if you were to drop a single marshmallow onto its surface, it would hit with the force of a nuclear bomb. It's hard to even comprehend that level of density. Think about the sheer scale of it all. Scientists now believe there are likely more planets than stars in the universe. For every star you see, there could be multiple worlds orbiting it. And the part of the universe we can see, the observable universe, is an unimaginable 93 billion light-years across. Our minds just aren't built to grasp that kind of distance. Okay, let's come back down to Earth for some equally bizarre random facts. Remember the guy who invented the iconic Pringles can? Frederick Bauer loved his creation so much that his ashes are buried in one. Now that's brand loyalty. And did you know our days are getting longer? About 1.4 billion years ago, a day on Earth was only 18 hours long. The moon's gravity has been slowly breaking our planet's rotation ever since. Let's talk about some famous brands. That iconic red color of Coca-Cola? It's not natural. If they didn't add coloring, the drink would actually be green. And if you're ever traveling the globe and get a craving for a Big Mac, you're in luck. There's a McDonald's on every continent except, you guessed it, Antarctica. Sorry, penguins. And for those who remember the early days of social media, Facebook once had a feature that let you poke people. It was weird, ambiguous, and nobody really knew what it meant, but we all did it. Let's get quiet for a moment. I mean, really quiet. The world's quietest room, an anechoic chamber at Microsoft's headquarters, is so silent you can hear your own heartbeat, your lungs, and even the blood flowing in your head. People can't stand being in there for more than a few minutes before they start to feel disoriented. On the opposite end of the spectrum, ever heard of bubble wrap? That satisfying, poppable material was originally invented in 1957 as a new kind of textured wallpaper. It failed miserably as decor, but found its true calling as the world's favorite packing material. Let's get digital. The first email ever sent was back in 1971 by a computer programmer named Ray Tomlinson. What profound message did he send? The top line of his keyboard. Qwerty-yoyope. And here's a fact that'll make you feel rich. Scientists estimate there's enough gold deep inside the Earth's core to cover the entire surface of the planet in a layer 1.5 feet thick. The only problem is, we can't get to it. And for all the cat lovers out there, you know how your cat sometimes seems to ignore you when you call its name. It's not your imagination. Studies show your cat absolutely recognizes your voice. It's just making a conscious decision to ignore you. Classic cat. Ready for some mini mind benders? That fluffy white cloud floating peacefully in the sky can weigh more than 1,000,000 pounds. It's made of tiny water droplets, but when you add them all up, it's incredibly heavy. Ever wondered why pineapples can be so expensive? They take 2 full years to grow from planting to harvest. Patience is a virtue, especially when it comes to tropical fruit. Here's a grimly ironic one. The inventor of modern matchsticks, John Walker, died from blood poisoning. The cause? Accidentally ingesting the phosphorus from the very matches he created. Have you heard of the Impemba effect? It's the strange phenomenon where hot water can sometimes freeze faster than cold water. Scientists are still debating the exact reason why, but it's a proven fact. Now for a less fun fact. Every single minute we use around 240,000 plastic bags worldwide. That's a staggering amount of waste. And speaking of long durations, the world record for the longest hiccup spree belongs to Charles Osborne, who hiccuped continuously for 68 years, from 1922 to 1990. Imagine that. Our bodies are pretty amazing too. The human eye is so sophisticated it can distinguish between about 10 million different colors. And if you ever have your best ideas in the shower, there's a scientific reason for it. The warm, relaxing environment triggers a release of dopamine, which boosts creativity. But here's where we waste time. The average person spends about 6 months of their entire life waiting at red lights. And finally, for a wordy paradox, there's a phobia of long words. Its name, hippopotamonstrosis quipedaliophobia. The irony is just beautiful. Let's finish with a trip around the globe for some truly odd cultural quirks and facts. In Japan, some parents believe that if a sumo wrestler makes their baby cry, it will bring the child good luck and a healthy life. Over in Switzerland, it's illegal to own just one guinea pig. They're social animals, and Swiss law considers it animal abuse to let them get lonely, so you have to buy them in pairs. Meanwhile, Finland hosts a national wife-carrying competition every year, where men race through an obstacle course with a woman on their backs. The prize? The winner gets the wife's weight in beer. Let's head to colder climates. Iceland is one of the few countries in the world with no native mosquito population. The country's unique climate just isn't suitable for them to breed. In South Korea, you can visit a theme park entirely dedicated to toilets. It's called Haewoojae, which means a house for relieving one's anxieties, and it's both educational and bizarre. In China, severe air pollution has an unexpected side effect. It makes sunsets appear more red and vibrant because the smog particles scatter the light. And for some history with a twist. Did you know Australia once declared war on emus? In 1932, soldiers armed with machine guns were sent to cull a massive emu population that was destroying crops. The emus were too fast and agile, and the military operation was a complete failure. The emus won. Heading north, Canada has the longest coastline in the world, stretching over 243,000 kilometers. It would take you more than 30 years to walk it all. And, for a sense of scale, Russia, the largest country on Earth, has a larger surface area than the dwarf planet Pluto. And finally, a reminder that our planet is always changing. Thousands of years ago, the vast, sandy Sahara Desert was a lush, green rainforest with rivers and lakes. What a journey! Every single thought you have, right now, this very second, is physically rewiring your brain. It's not just some abstract idea. Tiny new connections are forming between your neurons as you process these words. Think about that for a moment. You are literally building a new brain with every thought. It's a process called neuroplasticity, and it means you have the power to change, learn, and grow at any age. You're not stuck with the brain you were born with. You are its architect. Now, let's talk about memory. We tend to think of our memories as perfect video recordings, stored safely in our minds. But the truth is much stranger. Your memories aren't static files. They are dynamic and alive. Every single time you recall a memory, your brain reconstructs it. It's like rebuilding a Lego castle from memory. Each time you do it, you might put a brick in a slightly different place. This is why our most cherished memories can feel a bit different over time, why details can get fuzzy or even change. You're not just replaying the past, you're co-creating it every time you remember. Here's one that really messes with our concept of reality: the placebo effect. We've all heard about it. You take a sugar pill thinking it's medicine, and you actually feel better. But get this: the placebo effect works even when you know it's a placebo. In studies, people were given pills and told, "This is a sugar pill with no active ingredients, but studies show it can help with your symptoms." And guess what? It still worked. Their symptoms improved. This shows the incredible power of belief and expectation. Your mind's conviction alone can create real, measurable physical changes in your body. It's a testament to the profound connection between mind and matter. On a lighter note, ever been told to watch your language? Well, science has something to say about that. Studies have found that people who swear more often tend to be more honest. It's not about being rude, it's about being unfiltered. Swearing can be a sign of emotional expression and authenticity. People who use curse words are often less concerned with social niceties and more focused on saying what they truly feel. So, the next time your friend lets a cuss word slip, maybe they're just being genuinely, brutally honest with you. Let's drift into the world of dreams. Have you ever wondered about the strangers who pop up in your dreams? Here's a spooky thought: your brain can't invent new faces. Every single person you've ever dreamt of is someone you have seen before, even if just for a fleeting moment. That creepy old man from your nightmare? You might have passed him on the street years ago. That beautiful stranger you met in a dream? You might have seen their face in a magazine or in the background of a movie. Your brain is like a casting director, pulling from a vast library of extras you didn't even know you'd logged. Now, for a Mythbuster. Are you proud of being a great multitasker? I hate to break it to you, but your brain can't actually multitask. It's an illusion. What your brain is actually doing is something called task switching. It's just jumping between tasks incredibly quickly. But each jump comes with a tiny cost, a little bit of time, and mental energy is lost in the transition. That's why trying to text, watch a video, and have a conversation all at once can leave you feeling drained and less effective at everything. Focusing on one thing at a time isn't just calmer, it's genuinely more efficient. Here's a cute and quirky one. You know that feeling when you get embarrassed or flattered and a blush creeps up your cheeks? Well, when you blush, your stomach blushes too. The same rush of adrenaline that dilates the blood vessels in your face also affects the lining of your stomach, causing it to turn red. It's a full-body response to an emotional state. And speaking of blushing, humans are the only animals that do it. It's a uniquely human social signal, a nonverbal way of saying, "I recognize I've broken a social rule, and I care." It's an honest, uncontrollable display of our social awareness. This next one sounds a bit grim, but I promise it's beautiful. You start dying the moment you're born. From a biological standpoint, our cells begin the long, slow process of aging from day one. But this isn't a reason to be sad. It's what makes life so precious. The fact that our time is limited is what gives it meaning. Every sunrise, every laugh, every new experience is valuable because it's finite. This truth doesn't make life a tragedy. It makes it an adventure, urging us to make the most of every single moment we have. Let's get a little meta. The very word fact that we've been using this whole time is fascinating. It comes from the Latin word facere, which means to make or to do. This hints at a profound idea. Facts aren't just passive things we discover. In many ways, we actively make them through our actions, our research, and our shared understanding of the world. Our reality is something we continuously build and shape together. And finally, a fact about you right now. The simple fact that you have made it to the end of this video already makes you smarter and more curious than 90% of the people who clicked on it. Most people have short attention spans and bail early. You didn't. You stuck around, you were open to new ideas, and you wanted to learn. That commitment to knowledge is what true intelligence is all about. So, give yourself a pat on the back. You've earned it. If you enjoyed having your mind expanded with these facts, do me a huge favor and hit that like button. Share it with your friends to spark a conversation, and make sure you subscribe for more brain-expanding videos every single week. Thanks for watching.